Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In Surah Hujurat, verse 12, Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu jtanibu kathiran minaz-zanni inna ba'da zanni ism. And the translation of this is, O you who have believed, avoid much negative suspicion. Indeed, some suspicion is sin. Now, as mentioned previously, Iblis targets his whispers in three main areas. His whispers can be about Allah, about other people, and sometimes even about ourselves. Now, while the previous episode explained how Iblis can give us negative thoughts about Allah, making us despair of Allah's mercy, this episode focuses on Iblis's whispers regarding the attitude of other people. Now, being an ummah, Islam is about the community. It's about loving and helping other people, considering their problems as our own, sharing their moments of happiness and grief. That's why Haququllah and Haququl Ibad are equally important. We have to build a strong bond with family, friends, the Muslim body, and even with non-Muslims, because the aim is to spread the message of Islam. And most importantly, there has to be sincerity in our relationships. We should not be helping each other because we expect some favor in return. Whatever kind deed we do should be done purely for the sake of Allah. Now, at times we have toxic people in our society as well. People who really go out of their way to harm and to hurt us. Such people have existed even 1400 years ago in the city of Medina. Such people have always existed. Toxic people called munafiqs existed in Medina 1400 years ago, and they worked day and night to spread fasad in the ummah. They wanted Muslims to fight amongst each other, and they wanted to spread doubt about the legitimacy of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They wanted Muslims to doubt him and leave him. Now, while the Muslims were not permitted to attack the munafiqs, they were told to be cautious, to be vigilant, to be suspicious of them. Allah did not ask the believers to become best friends with the munafiqs. He simply told them to be polite, but be vigilant. Muslims were being told, don't let the munafiqs betray you. So be polite, be cautious, and of course you can keep your distance from them. There is no compulsion in Islam that a believer should maximize his time sitting with people who are toxic, sitting with people who love to mock him and to hurt him. And this is precisely what this verse is telling us. Some level of suspicion, some level of vigilance is always important, so that you don't let others fool you, you don't let others repeatedly hurt you in life. If you know someone who constantly does things to hurt you and to harm you through their words or through their actions, then you can start keeping a distance from them. Nowhere does it say in Islam, in the Quran or even in the Hadith, that if you see someone who is toxic, who loves to harm you and hurt you, then you should keep going back and spending more time with them. Alright, so some level of suspicion is important so that you don't let people repeatedly fool you or repeatedly harm you. But always being suspicious of everyone without any justification, that is where the whispers of Iblis come in. And that is what this verse is saying. Some level of suspicion is good, but more than that can be a sin. So at times, we think negatively of someone even though they might not have actually done anything. We argue that this person apologized to me, but while apologizing, I sensed sarcasm in his tone. So he didn't really mean it. Or maybe we say, this person left the minute I entered the room, which means he's avoiding me, he hates me. Or at times we say, this person came to see me when I was grieving, but the way he looked at me made me certain that he was actually happy that I was grieving. Now this is the work of Iblis. When we start to suspect others for no reason, it breaks our relationships. We start to have negative thoughts about others without any justification. This weakens the ummah. Even 1400 years ago, while the munafiqs would laugh at the Prophet, peace be upon him, secretly, or even they would make inappropriate expressions towards him, Muslims were not permitted to doubt their sincerity unless hypocrites were caught trying to harm the believers, or if someone heard them specifically saying something very wrong about the believers. So when you start thinking negatively about someone, take a moment and ask yourself, are you being careful and cautious, which is what Islam wants you to do? Or are you just thinking negatively about someone for no reason? Because if that is what you're doing, then you are falling prey to the whispers of Iblis, and that is actually a sin as mentioned in this verse of the Quran. And finally, don't forget, you will be held accountable for even this, for even having negative assumptions about somebody else without any proper proof or justification. Assalamu alaikum.